Good evening, friends, and welcome back to my channel. This evening, we will be talking about a diminishing factor of our lives. Something which is disappearing fast despite all our attempts to cling to it. And well, if some of you have been able to guess it correctly, there are no rewards for it. For those who haven't been able to guess, let me tell you, it is about happiness. I think all of you would agree that this is something which is disappearing very fast from our lives, and we are really struggling to cling on to it. Now let us see what Seligman, a very famous psychologist, had to say about happiness, and we would have a very interesting observation on what are the factors that he has associated happiness with. According to Seligman, happiness H is equal to P plus E plus M. Now what does P stand for? P stands for pleasure. Now when we think of pleasure, what does come to our mind immediately? The thing that comes to our mind is the worldly and the sensory pleasures, right? How much happy we are with the clothes that we wear, with the cars that we drive, the house that we live in, the phones that we use, isn't it? So these are all worldly pleasures, sensory pleasures. Yeah, how happy we are with our wives, with our children. So these are the things which how much happy does the success of our children make us? So these are all the worldly pleasures and the sensory pleasures which immediately comes to our mind. Now what Seligman has to say is that these pleasures are very transient by nature and they are not fulfilling. You cannot come to a conclusion with this. I believe he is right. Now let us see how it works in our life. Let us take the case of iPhones. Some of you are using iPhone 14, some of you are maybe using iPhone 16. Now iPhone 17 has come. So you feel that, well, if I had iPhone 17, I would be much happier than I am now with my iPhone 14. Isn't that true? I think it holds good for most of us. Now after a couple of years, say iPhone 18 or iPhone 19 is launched, the person who is very happy with his iPhone 16 now would definitely feel that, well, iPhone 18 or iPhone 19 would make him much more happy than he is now. Isn't it? So just see how this index is growing. Index of pleasure is growing. Is there any end to it? No, there is no end to it. On the contrary, we have to consider here something which we had read in economics. If you remember, is the law of diminishing marginal utility. I think all of you may be remembering this, at least those who have read economics. So what does this law state? In a layman's language, in a very simple terms, this is that the pleasure which we derive by consumption of a particular product or an item diminishes with repetitive consumption of the same product or the item. For example, if we are taking a particular food item, whatever it is, let's not go very specific with that. Any food item, if suppose we are taking, okay, say for example a lovely piece of Black Forest cake, okay. So if we are having it, the first piece, the first bite gives us tremendous pleasure, okay. The first piece that we have really makes us very happy. The second one, we feel it, yeah, it's good. Even now it's good. The third one, does it make you as happy as it did in your second piece? Definitely not. The fourth one doesn't make you happy at all. And if you are forced to have the fifth one, you might end up throwing up. Isn't it? So you see how this law of diminishing marginal utility works here. And this is applicable for everything in life, everything which is material in life. There is no end to it. We keep on aspiring for more and more and more and more, and there is no conclusion to it. There is no full stop. Many of you might have heard about W. Somerset Maugham. He was a very renowned author and a very renowned philosopher also. W. Somerset Maugham once said that if you mindlessly go on chasing these worldly pleasures, very soon you would reach a stage where you find nothing pleasant about them. So, how does this pleasure contribute to happiness? Yes, it does. How it does is, let us consider one example. You have, say, 4 or 5 zeros placed next to each other. What does it sum to? Nothing, right? It's 0. Just put one figure before the first 0. Let us put 1. What does it turn to? 100,000. So what is that 1? That 1 is the factor which we set for ourselves. That what is it with which my needs are fulfilled? I don't need more than this. If we are able to decide on that I am happy. I'm happy with a single bedroom or a 2-bedroom flat with a normal car. It is taking me well to my destination. I'm happy. Do I really need more? No, I don't need more. So you see, that is that 1. Then comes, of course, the spiritual alignment. That also is a very big one. But let us not get so deep into it. So here, what Seligman says is that you need to really define what you are. And here is what self-integrity and self-consciousness plays a very big role. What is self-integrity? Self-integrity is what the extent to which you know yourself or you try to know yourself. That is self-integrity. And how much you can work towards overcoming your shortcomings. You cannot work towards overcoming your shortcomings unless you know what you are. So it's very important to have this self-integrity in us. Right, friends. Now let us go to the next element. What is that? E. What does E stand for? E stands for engagement. Now there are 2 kinds of engagement according to Seligman, and I think all of you would agree to it. One is an active engagement, another is a passive engagement. Now to explain it in very simple words, what is passive engagement? Passive engagement is a one-way communication where you only receive, you keep on receiving. You don't give out anything. Your brain processes the signals which it only receives, but you don't interact. So that is passive engagement. What is active engagement? Active engagement is nothing but interactive engagement, where you interact with the situation, with the activity, with what is going on around you. That is active engagement. Let us take a very simple example of, say, playing a particular game. Say, for example, say football. I love football, so I would give this example. Now, one of you is watching a star-studded, very high-level football tournament on TV. and you are engrossed into it. There is no question about the level and standard of that game. While another one is playing that game in the field. Can you compare between the two? Definitely not. No questions. The game which he is playing in his locality, in the field, stands nowhere in front of what you are watching. It's an international standard game that you are watching on TV. But what you are having is a passive engagement. What he's having is an active engagement. So active engagement is bound to give us more happiness, generate more happiness in us than passive engagement. Right. Another thing which engagement here means is that how much involved you are with the activity, how much engaged you are with what you are doing. And how can that be measured? See, there are two terms. Okay, let us understand these two terms. One is passion, one is profession. Now, for people who can convert their passion into their profession, trust me, friends, there is no looking back for them. Unfortunately, not many of us are able to do it. Only a few of us can do it. So what is very essential is that to the extent possible, we should try to convert our passion into our profession. If we are able to do that, trust me, success is only a matter of time, because you don't have to forcibly engage yourself. Your engagement would be spontaneous, and that would lead to a happiness which nothing else can give you. No amount of engagement in only a profession which you did not choose or take up as per your passion, something which you took up out of compulsion, can never give you the kind of happiness which you derive by being engaged in an activity or a job or a work or whatever it is which is aligned to your passion. So how to bridge this gap between passion and profession? The best way to do is you develop a hobby. You have a hobby. Now suppose you are compelled to be in a job which is not aligned to your passion. You are compelled to do that job because you have to pay your bills. You have to meet your expenses. So you can't always be following your passion and neglect your survival. That's not wise. So you have to work. So how do you compensate for that? Build a hobby. If you like music, listen to music. If possible, learn music. Learn to play some instrument. Again, here it's a question of active and passive engagement. If you love music, if you only sit and listen to music, it's one kind of an engagement. But just imagine if you learn music, if you take lessons on music, on vocal or instrumental or whatever, and if you are able to practice that, won't it give you much more happiness, and won't your engagement be much more fulfilling than just sitting back and listening to music? I'm never saying that listening to music doesn't make you happy. It definitely does. But just try to think about the extent of engagement. Which makes you more engaged and which makes you more happy ultimately. That's the level of your engagement. I think I have been able to make this point clear, friends. If you have come till here, if you have been listening to me till here, I'm sure this has carried some sense to you. This has made some sense to you. And if it has made some sense to you, which I presume it has, otherwise you would have quit some time back itself, please do like and share this video. I would urge you to please do that. I request you rather. So the more you like and share, I feel more encouraged. Now let us come to the third factor, the third and the last. What does M stand for? According to Seligman, M stands for meaningful life. Now, this is a huge word, a huge meaning. It carries a lot of thought into it. What is that? Meaningful life. Meaningful life is, what he means is that, see, all of us are born with a purpose, isn't it? When we are born, and the way we grow up, the way we fulfill our activities, the way we fulfill our responsibilities, carry out our responsibilities, this defines our purpose. So what he means is that live a purposeful life. And how do you live a purposeful life? When you contribute something for larger benefit, not only your own self. Definitely we have to take care of our own selves. Unless we take care of our own selves, unless we are happy internally, we cannot make others happy. But this definition of making ourselves happy needs an introspection. Swami Vivekananda once he said that selflessness is much more meaningful, but it needs maturity. It doesn't come or doesn't happen to people so easily. Whenever we think about making ourselves happy, the first thing that comes to our life is that why should I try to make others happy first? No, it's not a question of first or second. It's a question of how you think. And it's not only material happiness. Your behavior, the way you talk, the way you behave, your gestures, okay, your contributions in tangible and non-intangible ways can contribute. They're all contributory by nature. So here meaningful life means not only to earn happiness for yourself, spread the happiness. Define and take the level of your happiness to a level where you derive happiness and pleasure out of contributing to the happiness of others. I hope this is very clear to you. Now, yes, this is pretty, it needs some amount of maturity and deep thinking, which I believe all of you would engage into. So, friends, these are the three factors of happiness in life. That is, according to Seligman, H, once again saying, H is a combination of these three factors. So if you have followed till here, and if this video has carried some meaning to it, please do like and share this video. And if my videos are carrying some value to you, please do subscribe to my channel. And before I end, just let me end with a small note here, friends, that happiness and pleasure are not same. You know, happiness is much more sustainable than pleasure. So tune your pleasures in a way so that it really enhances your happiness, because happiness is a very strong component of our life. Don't let it go. Thank you very much, friends, for your patient hearing. Take care and good night.